Hello, Hadiza here, and today I'll be sharing how to achieve any goal that you set. If you're new to this channel, remember to subscribe to this channel and click on the notification bell so you'll be notified every time I release a video. If you're old, if you're part of the fam, welcome back. It's really nice to have you here. Today, like I said, I'll be sharing how to achieve any goal that you set. But before we go into the tips that I have for you, I want to just correct a notion. Now, I'm not an expert in goal setting, neither am I an expert in journaling. Basically, this channel is me teaching as I learn. Even in my YouTube description, you'd see that I wrote that basically the reason why I started this YouTube channel was because I was becoming more intentional about life, and because of that, I was learning a lot of. I'll take that again. Because I was learning a lot, I was becoming more intentional about life and I was learning a lot. So because of that, I decided that as I'm learning, let me teach. Remember the learning pyramid? You retain 90% of the things that you actually teach to others. So basically, that's what this channel is about. So most of the tips that I'm teaching, or most of the things that I'm saying, are things that I have tried in my life and they've worked, or things that I've heard people have tried and they worked. And most times I give pointers to the ones that I have tried and the ones that I hope to try in the nearest future. So basically, I'm just correcting the notion about being an expert and just making us understand that we're all learners here. So if I say something that you do not agree with or something that you feel like could be said better, my comment section is always open. If you're not comfortable typing that in my comment section, you can always send me an email or send me a DM on Instagram, and I would answer you, and I would love to be educated by you. So yeah, let's just go right into the video, how to achieve any goal that you set. Okay, so tip number one, understand the power of marginal adjustments. So one of the major reasons why a lot of people don't like to set goals, even personally, when I talk to people about goal setting, one of the major things that they tell me is goal setting is a scam. They tried it, it doesn't work. Most times at the end of the day, they feel at a loss because they put in a lot of effort and it did not work. I think the problem is most people think that it takes a 180-degree change in characters or habits, you get, for them to actually achieve their goals. But most times than not, it doesn't. Understanding marginal adjustments is basically embracing the power of small incremental efforts over time. So basically, you want to achieve this goal, you have to understand that the best way for you to achieve this goal is to increase yourself incrementally over time. Consistency is the key. So basically, let's say that you, for instance, you want to achieve this goal. Instead of just deciding that, okay, let's say, for instance, you set a goal to lose weight. Most people expect that by the next day they are able to do cardio for 1 hour, or they are able to just cut down on carbs and just eat proteins, or they are able to eat more healthily, eat more vegetables. They're able to cut down on a lot of fatty foods, but it doesn't work that way. Most times when you go wolf on and you just go with intensity, like crazy intensity from nothing, you end up getting a burnout. You end up burning out and just like feeling like you're at a loss. Most times you become discouraged. Most times you just lose interest or lose motivation. And that's not the way to actually go about achieving your goals. Like recently I read this thing in this book where they said that if you break down what is required for you to achieve a goal and you increase each of those parts by 1%, the total, like the sum of all of those your efforts, will be more than 100%. Most of us have probably seen that formula thing where they do 1% raised to power of 365 to tell you what 1% incremental effort over a year can do for you. And I think it calculates to like 33%. I'm not quite sure, but I think 33%. You get? So small incremental effort is the way to go. The truth about it is that it's going to help you to not burn out. It's going to help you to actually get a feel of what you're doing. I was listening to this podcast where this wellness coach was talking about how to build muscle, and was talking about how the body builds muscle. So basically, you're able to exercise, like you strain your muscle, like you injure it a little bit, and then your body heals. And when it heals, it adapts. So that adaptation now gives you muscle. But then one thing that he also says, which I feel is very important for this point, is he said most people will just start exercising and they expect to be able to do cardio for long hours, or be able to just exercise and do all of these crazy routines for extended periods of time. And I was talking about when you do that, most times you throw your body into a frenzy, into a circle of getting injured and healing. And because it's just getting injured and having to heal, your body is not able to adapt. And because your body is not able to adapt, you're not going to get hit your goal. So I think we have to bear that in mind about goal setting. So when I talk about marginal adjustments, what I expect you to do is to take your goal, break it down into tiny to-dos, break it down into milestones, break it down into tiny goals. Then look forward to achieving those tiny goals. Do you get? So basically, you are chasing marginal adjustments. Your goal is to be 1% better in this area. And before you know it, you're going to arrive at your goal. Like you're going to achieve your goal. And it's going to be easier because you're going to stay motivated. You're not at a risk of a burnout. You're not at risk of burning out. And you're going to be fine. So yeah, the first tip that's going to help you achieve your goal is to embrace marginal adjustments, understand it, covet it, and do it. Gamify your goals. So recently, I was talking to my friend about this goal that I had set, and for the life of me, I was losing motivation. Like I was trying as much as possible to achieve these goals, but I just felt like this particular goal was not achievable. And I remember talking to this friend of mine, and he was saying that, am I sure that this goal is something that is important to me? Because the truth about it is that for many of us, the reasons why we don't achieve our goal is because this goal is just not important to us. So probably you saw someone achieve this goal, the goal looked fancy, but it's not something that it's very important to you, your life, your journey. But because it just looked flashy, it looked like what everybody was doing, you just like take the goal and then you just add it to your goals and then you're trying to achieve it. And so because of that, you're bound to lose motivation. It's possible for you to just give up along the way and all of that. But then I told him that no, this goal is something that is important to me. I see that it's in line with my big picture. I see that it's important for my journey. It's important for where I want to go to in life. And then he was like, have I thought about gamifying my goals? And then I had never heard that. I was like, what do you mean by gamifying my goals? He was like, yeah, I could put some sort of fun or to make the goal more catchy or to make it more fun, do you get, and all of that. And I thought about it and I did it, and I've been able to stay consistent in achieving that goal. So basically, the second tip on how to achieve your goal is to gamify your goals. So whatever it is, gamifying your goals for you can look like, let's say you're trying to learn a language, for instance. The thing that you can do is to probably download a beginner-friendly app. You see so many people, they want to learn a language, like they're going to start as beginners and they just start downloading professional courses, start paying for courses, start signing up to so many podcasts. And these are not wrong things in themselves. They're not bad things in themselves. But then this rush, this wolfing out can lead to you burning out. It can make you not even achieve your goals because at the end of the day, you're left feeling overwhelmed. You're left feeling like you need to do so many things and you honestly don't. Like there's power in little. So basically, gamifying your goals is the way to go. So get that beginner friendly app. Let's say, for instance, you're trying to lose weight. It would help you to join a community of people who are losing weight. Personally, I feel like the things that help me is keeping streaks. I love keeping streaks. I also love having people who are doing the same thing as I am. Like basically in school, I find a way of associating myself with people who are chasing the same things that I'm chasing. That way, even when I'm feeling discouraged, I'm like, but this person isn't discouraged. This person is still putting in the work to get, and this person is headed to where I want to go to, or this person is chasing the same things that I'm chasing. And so, because of that, it keeps me motivated, keeps me encouraged. Even then, they'll be like, Hadiza, I'm seeing that you're slacking, I'm seeing that you're not doing this. I see that you're becoming more unserious, you've not been attending classes or whatever. And then it helps me to like get back on track. So basically, gamify your goals, join communities if that's what gamifying looks like to you. You can start keeping streaks. If you have a bullet journal, that helps a lot. You can just be ticking. Like I love ticking out things. Like oh my god, like when people say that they set goals on their phones, the reason why I would forever use not forever, but then the reason why I love hard copies, I love how I can just strike out things. Like it's just so therapeutic. Oh my god. So basically, gamify your goals. Find a way to incorporate fun into your goals. Find a way to find it fascinating. Like it should not be about the destination. It should be about the journey too. Like the journey should be interesting to you. You should genuinely enjoy it. Download games that help you. Let's say you're trying to learn a language, beginner friendly apps, like I said. And let's say that you're trying to boost your IQ instead of just like trying to read and all of that, which is not a bad thing in itself. You can try all of these games that make everything fun. So, tip number two, Gamify your goals. Tip number 3, set smarter goals. And when I say set smarter goals, I'm not just referring to setting goals that are smart. I mean that you should set goals that are specific, goals that are measurable, goals that are achievable, goals that are realistic and relevant, goals that are time bound, and goals that you can evaluate or review consistently. Like evaluate and review consistently, evaluate and review consistently. Like I'm saying it because this is very important. You need to be able to evaluate and review your goals consistently. So basically, when I'm saying smarter goals, let's say for instance you're trying to lose weight. I love using losing weight example. Like I feel like it's the easiest example. Or let's say that you're trying to make money. But for this example, let's use losing weight. So instead of saying that you just want to lose weight, a specific goal will look like, okay, I want to lose 10 pounds, I want to lose 15 pounds. That's a specific goal. Now, a measurable goal is a goal that you're able to, when you reach the end of the time um that you have carved out for this goal, you're able to look back and be like, was I able to achieve this goal? So let's say your goal for losing weight. If you want to set a goal that is measurable, at the beginning when you have set the goal, you weigh yourself and find out your weight. So at the end of that time that you have carved out for that goal, say 1 month, say 2 months, say 3 months, you weigh yourself and then you check if if you were able to lose that 15 pounds. Achievable. I know you probably read a lot of things or watch a lot of things or seen social media or influencers tell you that it's possible for you to lose a certain kind of weight. But the truth about it is, you yourself know what amount of weight is achievable for yourself. You're the one who knows your strengths, you know your weaknesses, you know the things that might limit you, you know the things that might enable you, you know your lifestyle, you know your propensity to exercise or to eat healthily, you know where you're coming from. Do you get? So you should not just be setting goals that are achievable for everybody, but goals that are achievable for you. Humanly speaking, how many pounds are you able to lose in 1 month? Probably that's the goal you should start with. Now, when I say this, a lot of people are always like, but shouldn't you set goals that are outside your comfort zone? Now, the truth about it is that you probably should set goals that are outside your comfort zone. Hell, I'm all about setting goals that are outside your comfort zone. But then the truth about it is, you need to start with a goal that you're comfortable with. Because one thing about goal setting is when you achieve a goal, it motivates you and encourages you to chase your next goal. So if you're unable to achieve this present goal, I bet you would not be interested in setting more goals. But when you're able to achieve your first goal, let's say you set first goal for 5 pounds and you're able to achieve that, it's going to encourage you to be able to add the number of pounds. So why not just break it down? Do you get? But if you set a goal for you to go from 0 to 100, if you expect yourself to go from 0 to 100 and you're falling short and you land at 35, you'll be so sad. But imagine if you had set a goal for 20 and you landed at 35. You'll be so excited, and before you know, you're setting more goals. So start small. I'm not saying you should not push yourself, but achievable, a goal that is achievable. Now, goals that are realistic and goals that are relevant. Now, there are some goals that don't just make sense, they are not realistic. Don't set goals like that. Like, I don't know much about weight, but probably I think losing like 100 pounds in a month does not make sense. Like, it's not realistic. So don't set goals like that. Be realistic. Like, you can't be coming from zero and you're setting goals to be at 100 in like 2 days. It's not realistic. Don't do that. Set goals that are relevant. Now, there are goals that are relevant for everywhere we want to be in life. Like personally, I know a couple of things about my journey. I know where I'm headed. I know where I want to be at. Do you get at a certain point in time? Now you're supposed to backtrack from that thing that you want, like the thing that you want in the grand scheme of things. Is it to be an academic? Is it to be a philanthropist? Is it to be to have better skin? Is it to be um slimmer? Is it to be chubbier? Is it to have longer hair? Is it to be calmer? Is it to be um more jovial? Like whatever it is that your goal is, you're supposed to backtrack and then think about, okay, what can I do this month? What can I do next month? What can I do in a year that is going to take me to becoming this Hadiza that I want to be in a couple of years or in 10 years? Do you get? So basically, get a big picture, be able to backtrack, ensure that the goals that you're setting are relevant. Because when it will get hard, because the truth about it is that it will get hard, it will get boring. In the beginning of the year, most people are talking goal setting, goal setting, goal setting. Everybody's excited. Do you get? Everybody is trying to hit their goals. That time, adrenaline is pumping. Do you get? Like you are motivated. But down the line, by June, July, most people have forgotten about the goals that they set. Then it takes you knowing how important this goal is for you to stay the course. So set goals that are relevant, they are in line with your big picture. Now, for our T, set goals that are time bound. One of the major mistakes that a lot of people make is that they set goals that are not time bound. So, for instance, you're talking to somebody and you're like, okay, set this goal, and the person sets a goal and they do not have like a time carved out for when they want to achieve this goal. Oh, I want to lose weight. When? Do you get? Okay, I want to lose 30 pounds, a goal that is specific. When? Do you get? You have to carve out a time that you want to achieve these goals. Now, when you've set goals that are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound, you now have to evaluate and review your goal consistently, regularly. Like recently, I listened to Paul Four. Well, not recently, but I listened to Paul Four in night school, and he was talking about how that he reads his goals every morning, like his yearly goals every morning. Now, I don't do that, but then imagine what that kind of awareness of what it is that you want out of a year can do for you. That every morning you review what exactly you want to achieve that year. Like you would set out your day in purpose. Personally, I like to reread my goals. Like I'm always reviewing them. Because one funny thing about time is it has a way of revealing to you better ways of achieving your goals. So when you're looking at your goals, like months from now, you're able to see that, hey, this has not been working, or it has been working, but I feel like this can work better. And then you change your strategy to this new thing to evaluate your goals. There are sometimes that certain things that you want at the beginning of the year, by the time it's June, July, you realize that, okay, I don't want these things anymore. They're just not important to me. You scrap out those goals, you add new ones. Okay, now these things are important to me. Sometimes you realize that, okay, you've achieved all of your goals, but it's just mid year. So what do? You add more goals. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So basically, smarter goals is the way to go. So set goals that are specific, set goals that are measurable, set goals that are realistic, set goals that are relevant, set goals that are time bound, and evaluate and review your goals. Look out for ways to achieve your goals better. That's what you do when you're evaluating and reviewing your goals. And yeah, that's our tip number 3. Set smarter goals. Tip number 4, write out your goals. Now, for the life of me, when I first started talking about goal setting, I didn't think that this was something that I had to tell people because I thought that it was a given for you to actually write down your goals. But I've quickly learned that a lot of people do not write down their goals. So you set goals and you think that you'll be able to memorize them. You won't, you would forget. Write out your goals. Get a piece of paper. Piece of paper itself is irresponsible. Get a book where you write out your goals. If you can't, write them down in your phone notes app. But then ensure you write out your goals because you need your goals to be written for you to be able to evaluate and review them. You need your goals to be written for you to be able to look through them and see all of the things that I pointed out when we talked about smarter goals, to see if there are better ways of achieving them, to see whether these goals are no longer in line with your big picture, to see if you've been able to achieve these goals. So write them down. Even when you're able to break down your goals, which will help you to be able to embrace marginal adjustments, write it down. When you have a new strategy on how to achieve your goals, write it down. Life is serious business. You have to treat yourself like a serious business. Honestly, like I know that it sounds like, oh, all of these things are boring, but they are not. That's why gamifying comes into it. If you have a clique of people who are doing these things with you, if you have somebody who is as interested in doing things like this, like personally, I have my tribe of people who generally like doing things this way. So because of that, I don't feel like I'm being obsessive when I'm behaving like this, or I'm being obsessive when I'm dedicated and trying to just have my life in order. Do you get? So basically, just try as much as possible to gamify this. But my tip number 4 is to write out your goals. This is my favorite tip. Make failure impossible. I know you're probably watching this and wondering, Hadiza, how can I make failure impossible? Now you have to make failure impossible or at least very hard for you to achieve your goals. Recently, I was on Quora because I love being on Quora. And I was on Quora and I saw the story of this Indian American CEO who literally hired this lady off of I think he hired the lady off of I can't really remember the app right now. But then he hired her to basically slap him every time he was not concentrating. So anytime he would pick up his phone or he would go on the net or he would just become distracted when he's working, she would literally slap him. Now, I'm not expecting us to be that intense or to be that crazy, but honestly, you have to make failing impossible. Like, personally, I remember, I think in my third year, as a person, one of the major things that I've had to work on is I am very into retail therapy, and I'm something you would call like a minor shopaholic. So every time I'll have a bad day, or I'm feeling sad, or I'm feeling angry, or the day just didn't go the way I expected it to go, or I write a bad test, or I'm just like not at my best, I would shop. Like I would buy one or two things. And I remember the other day I was thinking about it, and I had spoken to a number of people who have always been like, okay, this is something that you need to work on. And it's not like I'm not financially wise. Well, this sounds like I'm not financially wise, but then I'm able to like save, you get. But then from my spending money, I would just be like not spending on the right things, you get. Like I'm just spending on a whim, just like retail therapy basically. And I remember that I wanted to stop doing this. But then from my apartment to school, there's at least two shops that sells things like for ladies, things that I actually like. So when I decided that I wanted to actually work on this and try as much as possible to cut down on this retail therapy thing, cut down on being a shopaholic, cut down on using clothes to satisfy to satisfy my inner discontentment, whatever, I decided to change the route that I used to go to school. This was a longer route, but then I was taking it. And when I would not take that route, I would literally use bike. So most times when I'm having a bad day and I come out from school, I would climb bike and get home. Now sometimes it becomes very compulsive. Like I just feel like I need to shop to like just like take this thing off my head. You get? But then because I have created inhibitions for me to get up now, get dressed, start going back you get to the shop, it then makes me to think about it and be like, okay, no, Hadiza, this is something that you said that you wanted to work on. You get, I'm able to give my conscious mind time to talk me out of doing it. So in a way, I have made failing hard. Recently, I watched a TED talk by Stephen Donier. I hope I pronounced that name well. But yeah, I listened to a TED talk by Stephen Donier, and he said that he wanted to learn German. And so, because he wanted to learn German, one of the major things that he did was he swapped out his iPad songs and the music on in his car to German lessons. So basically, while he's going to work or while he's running, because he said he runs and then I think he walks too a lot. So while he's working, while he's running, while he's going to work, whatever that is in his ear, what he's listening to was German lessons. And so because he was able to listen to those German lessons, do you know he was able to learn German? So basically, what I'm trying to say is you have to make failing impossible at least very hard. It can be a lot of things. Like another example was I was listening to this podcast and the man was talking about how he wanted to lose weight. And what he did while he wanted to lose weight was the first thing that he did was he didn't tell himself that he was not allowed to take junks. Like he said that he had a thing for pizza and burgers, but he didn't tell himself that he was not allowed to take junks. What he did was that he ensured that he did not have it at home and he didn't have any access to um these things like online. So like he deleted the apps you get, so he didn't have access to like shopping online. So basically what he was doing was like when he needed to buy these things, he would have to like leave his house, go to the store to get it. That way he's giving himself time for his conscious mind. He's putting in place inhibitions. So for his conscious mind to be able to talk him out of it, to remind him that, oh, we are supposed to be losing weight. We're not supposed to take pizza. We're not supposed to take burger. Do you get? Like, do you get what I'm trying to say? So basically, you're just making failure impossible or making failing hard. And this can look like a number of things for you. It can look like you deleting your shopping apps. It can look like you like giving space in certain relationships. It can look like you setting more healthier boundaries. It can look like you I don't know, like just so many things. Like it depends on what you want to do. It might look like you just like him if you're learning the language, swapping out like music for some educative podcasts. It can look like you watching more mind stimulating things as opposed to just scrolling mindlessly through the day. Depending on what your goal is, this can look like a number of things for you. And I'm rooting for you. This is one thing that I have tried and it has helped me, like in various areas of my life. You just have to put in place inhibitions, put in place things that gives your conscious mind time enough to remind you on the path that you're on. So yes, my goal number 5 is make failure impossible. So tip number 6 and my final tip on how to achieve any goal that you set: intensity and consistency. You see these two things? These two things will help you achieve any goal that you set. First, intensity. Now, I remember I shared that podcast about how that man said the best way for you to train your body to grow muscle. But then, one thing that I forgot to mention is while you're training your body to grow muscle, while you are causing small injury, giving your body time to adapt and consequently make muscle, one thing that you need to do is when you find that this thing that you're doing has become normal, you then increase intensity. So you're consistently increasing intensity. That's how you get your body to adapt and build large muscle mass. So same thing with goal setting. Let's say, for instance, you've done 1%. Let's say now you have been able to get yourself to be able to eat low carb foods. And now you have been able to move from consciously incompetent to consciously competent and then to unconsciously competent. Do you get the procession? So now you're at unconsciously competent, that it is second nature to you for you to be able to eat low carbs diet. This is the time to move up. So you increase your consistency. Do you get? Then when you increase your intensity. So while you've increased intensity, then you then be consistent again till you reach a level where you're unconsciously competent. Now, for a number of things in my life, I have reached a level where I am unconsciously competent. Like, for instance, for journaling, it's second nature to me. I want to write down my thoughts. Even when I'm unable to introspect and journal, I literally would make phone recordings and then think about how I'm going to transcribe them later on. So this is something that has become unconsciously competent. But then there are many things that are important in my journey or to me achieving my goals that I'm still probably at consciously incompetent, or I'm still at consciously competent. So it still feels like a lot of work. Do you get? But then for us to achieve our goals, we have to get to a level where we are, as people, we are unconsciously competent. So most of the things required for us to achieve our goals become second nature. And the way to train yourself to get this is to start small. And that's why small incremental progress is the way to go. That's why marginal adjustment is amazing, because it's harder for you to be able to do intensity and consistency if you should start your intensity at 100. It will be hard for you to be consistent. That's why you see most people that do this 180 change, you just wake up after 31st of December, you're like, oh, your life is going to change for the better. You're going to start journaling every day, journaling morning and in the night. Or you just say that from today henceforth, I'm going to be exercising every day. Or I'm going to go into the gym 4 times a week. And then you find out that after a month, they are nowhere to be found. Starting at that level of intensity is going to impede your consistency. And that's why you will not achieve your goals. So please put it into your mind. Like, learn this one: intensity and consistency. Remember the story of how to build body mass. Remember that you have to give your body time to adapt. Remember that he also said that when you exercise too much, that's your intensity is like probably 100. When you're just starting, you throw your body into a frenzy. You are at risk of burning out. And when you throw your body into a frenzy, your body is stuck in a loop where they are healing and getting injured. So there's no time for adaptation. You're not getting rewarded. So you are going to the gym, you're hitting it for 4 days a week, and then you leave. Nothing changes. You haven't lost as much weight as you'd expect. Worse, you would even gain it back if you are lucky enough to have lost it. So consistency and intensity is the way to go if you want to achieve your goals. So yeah, these are 6 tips that would help you achieve your goals. I said, first, understand the power of marginal adjustments. 2, gamify your goals. 3, set smarter goals. 4, write out your goals. 5, make failure impossible. 6, intensity and consistency. If you're watching this video and you're someone who set goals and you've been able to achieve them, if you have any tips for us on how we can achieve any goal that we set, please type them out in the comment section. Do not be a knowledge hoard. Remember the learning pyramid. We learn. We're able to retain 90% when we teach others. So teach us in the comment section. If you have any questions, just type them out in the comment section. I will attend to them. If you want to reach me, you can reach me by either sending me an email or you can send me a DM on Instagram. I reply all my Instagram DMs. Also, this is a good time to tell you that if you are not subscribed to my newsletter, I'm going to add the link in the description. Click on the link in the description and subscribe to my newsletter. I share so much on my newsletter. Like I share into my life tea, I share recommendations, like book recommendations, movie recommendations, things I learn, where my head is at different points in time. Now, basically, I send out newsletters once a month, but sometimes I send out 2 or 3 a month, depending on where I am at or if I learned something that I just need to put out there. You get? So yeah, remember to subscribe to my newsletter. Until I see you next time, I hope you have an awesome day. I hope you have an awesome week, and I hope you're able to achieve every goal that you set. Have a nice day.